Psalm 18, verse 6, New International Version. In my distress I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. Christina writes, My daughter Dee and her husband have a coffee shop in the country. One day she set off into town to get the weekly supplies. In Australia, we are warned about the dangers of driving on country roads at dusk and dawn, because that's the time that kangaroos cross the road in search of better grazing land. It was late morning when she began her journey, driving at up to 100 kilometers per hour. Suddenly, a large kangaroo jumped out in front of her and struck the van. We are told that if we hit an animal, not to swerve, but the impact of the crash forced the van out into the oncoming traffic lane. And when she stopped, she was heading back towards home. She somehow was able to turn the van around and park safely off the road. Sadly, the kangaroo had died, and she was suffering from shock. All she wanted was to go home to her husband. She sat for a while, and slowly she began to think someone would have to get the supplies. The van, although dented, was still safe to drive. The kangaroo was a male, so there was no baby in the pouch that might need medical attention. She was all right, physically. Could have been killed if there had been any other traffic on the road at the time of the crash. She realized then that no other vehicles had passed by in all that time. She was strangely alone, and she knew that she had been taken care of. Her enormous feelings of gratitude gave her the strength to continue on her journey. From Isaiah 52 verse 12, The Lord will go before you, and the God of Israel will be your rear guard.